Barren Fig Tree Parable and of the 24th of October 2021 Rapture. The photo of my leafy but as yet barren fig tree that you see in the background to this podcast was taken today, and by this you can see that as Jesus said in Matthew 24 verse 32, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree, as soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near." As I write this, the alternative or true Yom Teruah has started, as the new moon was indeed sighted yesterday in Israel and other places around the world, and the peak activity of the Draconid Meteor Shower on October 8 has also passed, and we are still here, although it is still possible that the rapture may take place in the next 24 hours as the Feast of Trumpets is a 2-day feast. But I am looking forward now to a possible rapture on the 17th day of the 7th month, the same day that Noah's Ark landed on the mountains of Ararat. Many in the Watchman community who have been watching for the rapture over the last few years may remember that there was a lot of expectation around the date of July 17, 2019, which of course is the 17th day of the 7th month on the Gregorian calendar. I myself have often been caught unawares, seeing the number 717 in different places, mostly when randomly checking the time on my mobile or some other clock, when not really expecting to see that particular time of 717 to appear. I have also seen it in the length of videos, or a video on the Boeing 717 appearing in my feed, or other random things like that. Now, this is neither scientific nor particularly spiritual, so I don't say that anybody should see it as a sign from God, but who knows, maybe God is just dropping hints for people like myself about when that day will be. I know for sure that other people on YouTube have commented that they have seen this number too. So how does this link in with the barren fig tree parable? It's not a direct link, but because this date of Tishrei 17 falls into the time frame of a 4-year delay from the year that Israel was formed as a nation, starting with a committee being formed in the United Nations to decide what to do about the Jewish refugees from World War II, who had been promised a nation as far back as 1917 when the British captured Palestine from the Ottoman Empire. Because we seem to have now passed the Rosh Hashanah or Feast of Trumpets high watch time, this 717 date is a possibility that I want to raise as we travel through time on our journey towards the rapture. I have to stress that the barren fig tree timeline could take us all the way to May 14, 2022, but who knows, maybe God will have a reason to snatch the church away before then, as strictly speaking, the rapture is not about Israel, it is about the church, but because the church was born out of Israel, there is a connection made in Revelation 12 of the man-child being born of a woman, and I am becoming very aware that there was a gestation period that Israel itself went through in the 9 months leading up to May 14, 1948, and perhaps that is somehow connected to the pregnancy that is linked to the Revelation 12 sign of September 23, 2017. Interesting too, that in the Roman calendar, September is the 7th month, so 717 is also linked to September 2017. I also found out today, or at least rediscovered the fact that the first Zionist Congress of Basel, Switzerland in 1897, started on August 29 of that year, the day after the Feast of Trumpets ended that year, and that was exactly 120 years before the Revelation 12 sign, which also fell on the day after the Feast of Trumpets in 2017. So plenty of interesting God incidences to ponder there. As always, if you like what I have to say, like and subscribe, and see you on the other side, if the Lord doesn't tarry. I was criticized by one fellow because I said this in my videos, but I feel that I am just pointing out to people a feature of YouTube, and at the end of the day, I am just trying to spread the truth of the gospel far and wide, so if tweaking the algorithm helps with that, I will do it. By the way, if you don't know what the gospel is, leave a comment below, or if you think you do know, also leave a comment. The reason I say that is that people seem to have a lot of different ideas about what the gospel is, and although the Bible is very clear about this, there seems to be a lot of controversy. To me, the gospel is Christ crucified, which is the power of God unto salvation, but also a stumbling block to those who are perishing, and I would like to help people not to stumble or perish by pointing them to Christ who was crucified for our sins,